2025 U.S. Open participant sues NCAA in a potential class action lawsuit. Here's what happened. The land of the free, the country where dreams come true, it's the place where talents like Frances Tiafoe can come from nothing to become a global star. The good old United States of America is the place you want to be. But what if you're not compensated for your talents and efforts? What if you cannot claim the money you have rightfully earned? What if you play in the U.S. Open and still don't get paid? That is exactly what is happening to collegiate tennis players who come under NCAA restrictions. But the situation could change soon thanks to a lawsuit filed by a couple of youngsters. The developments would have lasting implications for the fabric of college sports. So, let's try to understand what it's all about. Why is the NCAA being sued by certain U.S. Open participants? The latest development is part of a litigation that was started by University of North Carolina student Reese Brantmeier in 2024. She is a tennis player who decided not to go pro. Rather, she has decided to keep her amateur status and complete the NCAA term. But her petition is aimed at bringing about a change in the NCAA's rules, which only allow students to accept a small part of the money they earn by participating in non-NCAA events. And after the latest development, her lawsuit is set to get bolstered. She will be able to bring many other similar aggrieved parties under the same umbrella, all against the NCAA. As per her lawsuit, the complaints are pretty straightforward. Under long-standing amateurism regulations, the NCAA prohibits tennis student-athletes from accepting cash awards, bonuses, and other monetary prizes, collectively prize money, awarded by third parties for their performance in non-NCAA competitions, such as the U.S. Open Tennis Championships. The provisions even provide that if a student-athlete accepts any prize money beyond the yearly $10,000 limit from non-NCAA tennis competitions, such student will stop being eligible for intercollegiate competition in the sport of tennis. What does that mean? Well, it meant 2025 Wimbledon participant Oliver Tarvet had to forgo more than $90,000. He earned it after reaching the second round of the championships. Like him, Reese Brantmeier had to forfeit the majority of what she earned at the 2021 U.S. Open. As a 16-year-old and still in school, Brantmeier would earn $48,913 for her participation. However, due to the NCAA's prize money restrictions, Brantmeier was forced to forfeit much of that money to maintain her collegiate eligibility, read her court filing. Moreover, Brantmeier was barred from competing in the UNC because of the expenses she claimed, hotel room charges where she stayed with her mother, during the 2021 U.S. Open event. Only after paying $5,100 in charitable contributions was she allowed to be back in the NCAA fold in 2023. She is going to be there in the 2025 U.S. Open. And this again raises the concern that her efforts may earn her accolades, but she would be deprived of financial compensation. Brantmeier also has Maya Joint as a co-plaintiff in the current legal battle. For the ones who don't know, Maya Joint recently won the Eastbourne Open before the 2025 Wimbledon. And the 20-year-old also made a splash at the 2024 U.S. Open by reaching the second round. She defeated Laura Siegemund in the first round, which eventually saw her get a total cash prize of $140,000. Well, all of it was supposed to be hers, but the NCAA law meant she had to forfeit most of it. Plaintiffs seek relief on behalf of themselves and propose damages and injunctive relief classes from the application and past effects of the NCAA's prize money rules to compensate class members for past forfeited amounts and to allow them to retain prize money for their performances in non-NCAA competitions without losing their collegiate eligibility, the lawsuit filing said. Brantmeier's lawyers further argued, the NCAA's arbitrary rules restrict the amount of prize money that student-athletes competing in tennis may accept, causing anti-competitive harm to the markets for their labor and reducing their earning ability. Now that the ball has got rolling, we keenly observe how things develop. Reese Brantmeier and Maya Joint will need active supporters beside them. More about the lawsuit against the NCAA.